The morning sky over NASA's main control center was clear and blue when the first signs of trouble appeared on their deep space monitoring systems. Tom Wilson, the lead signal analyst, nearly spilled his coffee when he saw the readings. His hand shook as he called his supervisor. "Sir, you need to see this immediately." Within hours, every major space agency on Earth was looking at the same data. Hundreds of massive objects were moving through space, following a clear pattern that couldn't be natural. They were heading straight for the solar system. For 3 days, the world's governments tried to keep the information secret, but when the objects came close enough for amateur astronomers to spot them, the news spread like wildfire across the internet. Markets crashed. Religious leaders called for calm. Military forces worldwide went on high alert. On the 4th day, they received the first transmission. The main screens in every major control center suddenly lit up with an image that made everyone's blood run cold. The creature on the screen looked almost human, but not quite. Its skin was pale gray, its eyes too large, its neck too long. "People of Earth," it spoke in perfect English, though its mouth movements didn't match the words. "I am High Commander of the Galactic Empire. Your solar system lies within our expansion zone. Prepare for integration into the Empire. Resistance is unnecessary and would be unfortunate." President Rogers of the United States was the first world leader to reach the emergency meeting room at the United Nations. Over the next few hours, other leaders arrived, their usual political differences forgotten in the face of this new threat. Commander James Stone stood at attention before the hastily assembled Earth Defense Council. His military uniform was crisp, his expression serious. As Earth's top space warfare expert, he had spent years preparing for alien contact. But not like this. "The situation is both better and worse than it appears," he told the assembled leaders. "Based on our analysis of their approach vector, Earth holds a unique strategic position in this sector of space. Our solar system is a natural choke point for faster-than-light travel." The room burst into worried whispers. Stone continued, "But there's something else. Our scientists have discovered that Earth's gravity and magnetic field are unusually strong compared to most habitable planets. This might explain why the Empire hasn't colonized our system yet." Dr. Laura Green, the head scientist, stepped forward with her data. "Commander Stone is right. Our initial analysis of their transmission shows their artificial gravity technology is far less efficient than what they'd need to operate comfortably on Earth. Their ships would struggle in our gravity well." The Chinese premier spoke up. "Are you suggesting we can defend ourselves against an empire that spans the galaxy?" "I'm suggesting," Stone replied, "that we might have home field advantage." The next 48 hours were the busiest in human history. Nations pooled their military resources. Scientists shared their most secret research. Engineers worked around the clock to upgrade Earth's satellite defense networks. The Empire's fleet arrived exactly 1 week after their first message. Their ships were beautiful and terrifying, massive crystalline structures that seemed to glow from within. The smallest was larger than Earth's largest aircraft carrier. The High Commander's second transmission was directed to the newly formed Earth Defense Council. This time, his tone was less diplomatic. "Your planet's position makes it valuable to the Empire. Your species' primitive technology and biological limitations make you suitable only as a protectorate state. Accept our authority, and you will be permitted limited autonomy. Refuse, and we will demonstrate why no planet has successfully resisted the Empire in 10,000 years." Commander Stone stood before the council again. "They're overconfident. Their scans can't penetrate our atmosphere properly because of our magnetic field. They don't know about our recent technological advances. Most importantly, they don't understand that humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to unite and adapt when facing a common threat." The council voted unanimously. President Rogers, chosen to speak for Earth, delivered humanity's response. "To the Galactic Empire, we appreciate your offer. We understand the significant power difference between our civilizations. However, humanity has never responded well to threats. We respectfully decline your terms. Earth is our home. It is not for sale, conquest, or colonization. We suggest you find another route for your ships." As the transmission ended, Commander Stone looked out the window at the evening sky, where the Imperial ships now outshone the stars. The real test of humanity was about to begin. 3 massive Imperial shuttles descended through Earth's atmosphere, their silver hulls glowing red from the heat of entry. They landed on the specially prepared airfield outside the United Nations headquarters in Geneva, where Earth's leaders waited. Commander Stone watched through binoculars as the shuttle's doors opened. "Something's wrong," he muttered. "They're moving too slowly." The Imperial delegation emerged with what they clearly intended to be an impressive display. But Stone noticed their careful, strained movements. The Empire's representatives were struggling with Earth's gravity. The alien ambassador stood nearly 8 feet tall, but walked with obvious effort. His guards, wearing what appeared to be powered assist suits, flanked him closely. Their weapons, while advanced, looked surprisingly bulky and impractical. "Welcome to Earth," President Rogers said, stepping forward as the chosen speaker for humanity. "We are prepared to discuss terms that benefit both our peoples." The ambassador's translator device hummed. "There is nothing to discuss. We are here to explain how your integration into the Empire will proceed." He paused, breathing heavily in Earth's thick atmosphere. "Your gravity is most uncomfortable. We will conduct this meeting inside." Inside the UN chamber, Earth's leaders sat across from the Imperial delegation. The aliens had insisted on using their own chairs, which Commander Stone noted included anti-gravity generators. "Your species is primitive," the ambassador began, "but we are not unreasonable. The Empire requires your solar system for its strategic location. We offer you protection and limited technology in exchange for your complete submission." Dr. Laura Green, sitting next to Stone, quietly activated her scanner. "Their environmental suits are working at maximum capacity," she whispered. "They're having trouble with our air pressure too." The ambassador continued, "We have studied your history. You waste time and resources fighting among yourselves. Your technology is crude. You have barely reached your own moon. The Empire will bring order and progress." President Rogers maintained a diplomatic smile. "Perhaps you could clarify what you mean by submission." "Simple terms. Earth will be governed by an Imperial Council. Your military forces will be disbanded. Your industries will be redirected to serve Imperial needs. Your population will be gradually relocated to more suitable planets as needed." The room grew tense. The ambassador seemed oblivious to the growing anger among Earth's representatives. "And if we refuse?" General Torres asked, her voice steady. "Impossible. No planet refuses the Empire. But if you attempt resistance, we will simply take what we need. Our ships carry enough firepower to level your major cities." Commander Stone stood up, despite protocol. "Before you make threats, Ambassador, you should understand something about humans. We've spent our entire history adapting to Earth's conditions. What you find uncomfortable, we find natural. What you consider harsh, we call home." The ambassador's large eyes narrowed. "Is this primitive attempting to threaten the Empire?" "Not at all," Stone replied. "I'm just suggesting you check your data again. While you were scanning us from orbit, we were scanning you. Your ships are impressive, but they're designed for deep space. Earth's gravity well affects them, just like it affects you. Your energy weapons would lose significant power passing through our atmosphere." The ambassador's gray skin flushed a darker shade. "You dare to question Imperial military power? We have conquered 1,000 worlds." "But none like Earth," Dr. Green interjected. "Your own suits prove it. You can barely stand in our gravity. Your soldiers would be at a severe disadvantage in ground combat." President Rogers raised her hand for silence. "Ambassador, we appreciate the Empire's offer. But humanity will not accept slavery, no matter how prettily it's packaged. We propose instead a mutual defense and trade agreement. Equal partners." The ambassador stood shakily, his anti-gravity chair humming loudly. The Empire does not partner with primitives. You have 2 Earth days to submit, or we will demonstrate our power. This meeting is over. As the Imperial delegation departed, Commander Stone turned to President Rogers. They'll try to make an example of us. Their pride demands it. Then we'll make an example of them instead, she replied. Send the signal. Activate all defense systems. If they want Earth, they'll have to fight for every inch of it. High above, the Imperial ships began moving into attack formation, their crews confident in their superior technology. They had no way of knowing that humanity had spent the last week preparing a few surprises of their own. The real battle for Earth was about to begin. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a secret facility known as the Bunker, Dr. Laura Green stared at her computer screen with growing excitement. Her team had finally finished analyzing the scans of Imperial technology. Commander Stone, you need to see this immediately, she called out, her voice echoing through the underground lab. Stone walked over, coffee in hand. The facility had been running nonstop since the Imperial ultimatum. Dark circles under his eyes showed the strain, but his mind remained sharp. What did you find? Their technology isn't more advanced than ours in every way, Dr. Green explained, pointing to her screen. It's just different. Look at their power systems. The data showed complex diagrams of Imperial ships. Their entire civilization is built on antimatter technology, she continued. They never developed nuclear fusion the way we did. Our fusion reactors are actually more efficient for planetary operations. Stone leaned closer. Are you saying we have better power plants than the Empire? In atmosphere? Yes. Their antimatter systems are perfect for space, but they're too dangerous to operate in heavy gravity. That's why their ships are staying so far from Earth's gravity well. The commander's face broke into a rare smile. What else? Their computer systems. Another scientist, Dr. Mike Thompson, called from across the room. I've been studying their communication signals. They never developed AI like we did. They think our computer systems are primitive because they're silicon-based, but our processing power is far beyond theirs. Stone pressed a button on the wall. Get me the Defense Council immediately. In the Emergency Command Center, military leaders from around the world listened as Dr. Green explained their discoveries. The Empire's technology was advanced, but it was built for the void of space, not the harsh conditions of Earth. There's more, Dr. Thompson added. Their ships use energy shields, but they've never encountered good old-fashioned kinetic weapons. Our railguns could tear right through their defenses. General Torres stood up. What about their weapons? Plasma-based, Dr. Green replied. Highly effective in space, but our atmosphere will scatter the energy. Their weapons will lose almost 60% of their power trying to reach ground targets. President Rogers, listening via secure video link, spoke up. Why haven't they realized these weaknesses? Pride. Commander Stone answered. They've ruled space so long they never expected a primitive world to be a threat. Their scans show our technology, but they don't understand how we use it. In orbit, Imperial sensors watched Earth's surface, but they couldn't detect the massive changes happening beneath. In underground factories, railguns were being modified. Nuclear fusion plants were running at full power. Military AI systems were learning and adapting. The Empire had given Earth 2 days to surrender. They had no idea those 2 days were exactly what humanity needed. What about their ground forces? Someone asked. Dr. Green brought up new diagrams. Their combat suits are impressive but flawed. They need powered armor just to walk in our gravity. One good EMP burst would turn their soldiers into statues. Commander Stone turned to the assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, Earth isn't as helpless as the Empire thinks. We've spent generations adapting to conditions they consider extreme. Every disadvantage they see is actually our strength. How long until we're ready? President Rogers asked. The Global Defense Network will be fully operational in 36 hours, Stone replied. We've hidden our preparations behind false power signatures. They think we're cowering in fear, But we're actually building up the biggest surprise in human history. Dr. Green added one final piece of information. We've also detected signals suggesting some of their subject worlds are watching closely. If Earth can stand up to the Empire, then we might not be fighting alone for long. Stone finished. As the meeting ended, Commander Stone walked to the observation window. Far above, through layers of rock and reinforced glass, he could just make out the stars and the Imperial ships that thought they had Earth at their mercy. They gave us 2 days to surrender, he muttered. Instead, we've used that time to prepare for war. Let's show them what a primitive species can do. The Empire's deadline was approaching, but Earth wasn't preparing to surrender. It was preparing to fight back. The Empire's deadline passed without Earth's surrender. As the first rays of sunlight touched New York City, the Imperial fleet began to move. 5 massive warships descended toward Earth, their weapons charging with bright purple energy. In the bunker, Commander Stone watched the tactical display. They're following exactly the attack pattern we predicted. Begin Operation Thunderstorm. The Imperial commander's voice boomed across all communication channels. Your time has ended. Witness the power of the Empire. The first Imperial ship fired its main weapon. A massive beam of plasma energy shot toward Chicago. But as it entered Earth's atmosphere, something unexpected happened. The bright purple beam began to scatter and weaken. Their weapons are losing power exactly as we calculated, Dr. Green reported, watching her instruments. Atmospheric interference is at 58%. Stone nodded. Activate the shields. Across Earth's major cities, hidden energy generators roared to life. The weakened Imperial blast hit Chicago, only to splash harmlessly against a shimmering barrier of blue energy. Impossible. The Imperial commander's voice shook with rage. These primitives cannot have shield technology. Stone allowed himself a small smile. Return fire. Hidden doors opened in mountains and hillsides around the world. Giant railguns, built in secret over the past week, emerged. They fired in perfect synchronization, guided by Earth's military AI. Massive tungsten rods shot upward at incredible speeds. The Imperial ships didn't even try to dodge. Why should they fear primitive projectile weapons? Their energy shields had stopped millions of energy weapons before, but they had never faced simple physics deployed with advanced technology. The railgun projectiles, accelerated to enormous speeds, tore through their shields like paper. 2 Imperial ships suffered direct hits, their hulls breached in dozens of places. How? The Imperial commander demanded. Your weapons are not energy-based. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways, Stone replied calmly over the channel. Launch the fighters. From hidden bases across Earth, squadrons of human fighters took off. They looked smaller and less impressive than Imperial fighters, but they had been designed for Earth's gravity and atmosphere. As the Imperial ships launched their own fighters, the difference became clear. The Imperial craft struggled in Earth's atmosphere. Their engines, designed for space, worked too hard. Their pilots, used to the freedom of space, found themselves confined by gravity and air resistance. In contrast, Earth's pilots were in their element. This is Blue Leader, a pilot reported. Imperial fighters are sluggish in atmosphere. It's like they're flying through mud. We're picking them off easily. Another Imperial ship fell, its engines exploding after multiple railgun hits. The remaining ships tried to retreat to a higher orbit, but Earth wasn't finished yet. Activate the magnetic pulse, Stone ordered. Hidden satellites powered up, releasing waves of electromagnetic energy. The Imperial ship systems, designed for the sterile environment of space, couldn't handle the focused EMP bursts. Their engines stuttered and failed. You savage primitives. The Imperial commander's transmission was filled with static. You cannot defeat the Empire. We already have, Stone replied. Look around you. 3 of your ships are destroyed. The other 2 are crippled. Your fighters are being shot down, and we're just getting started. The battle lasted less than an hour. When it ended, the mighty Imperial attack force was in ruins. Damaged ships limped back to the main fleet, carrying stories of impossible defeat. In the bunker, celebrations were kept brief. Everyone knew this was just the first battle. The Empire would return with a larger force. But now, they knew Earth could fight back. "Send a message to the Imperial fleet," President Rogers ordered. "Tell them this was just a demonstration. Earth is our home. We will defend it. Any further attacks will be met with even stronger resistance." As the message was sent, Dr. Green approached Commander Stone. "The Empire's sensors are going crazy trying to figure out how we beat them. They still don't understand." "Good," Stone replied. "Let them wonder. Earth has more surprises waiting if they want to try again." High above, the Imperial fleet received Earth's message. For the first time in thousands of years, the Empire had to face a truth they never expected. A primitive world had not only resisted them, but had won the first battle decisively. The war for Earth's independence had begun with a human victory. 1 week after Earth's first victory, Commander Stone presented Operation Homeground to the Defense Council. The huge screen behind him showed the positions of Imperial ships regrouping near Mars. "The Empire isn't used to losing," Stone explained. "They'll come back with everything they have. But this time, we're not waiting for them to attack. We're taking the fight to space." General Torres looked concerned. "Our ships aren't built for deep space combat." "No," Stone smiled, "but we've learned something interesting about the asteroid belt." He nodded to Dr. Green, who stepped forward with new data. "The Empire's ships can't maneuver well in dense fields," she explained. "Their large ships are designed for open space. The asteroid belt is like a thick forest to them. And we're about to become the forest rangers." The plan was bold. Earth had spent the last week converting mining ships into combat vessels. They were small, tough, and built to work around asteroids. Most importantly, their crews were used to working in tricky gravitational conditions. "Begin Operation Homeground," President Rogers ordered. Earth's new fleet launched under cover of a magnetic storm. 200 ships, each carrying special weapons designed by Dr. Green's team. They looked primitive compared to Imperial vessels, but they had one big advantage. They were built by humans who understood how to fight dirty. In the asteroid belt, Captain Mike Turner led the first strike team. His ship, barely larger than an Imperial shuttle, hid behind a spinning rock. 3 massive Imperial cruisers passed nearby, their sensors confused by special devices that made the asteroids appear to have unusual mineral contents. "Remember," Turner told his crew, "we're not trying to destroy them. We just need to make this space too expensive for them to keep." The human ships struck from hiding places throughout the belt. They fired special harpoons that attached to Imperial ships, then used the asteroid's own gravity to slingshot away before they could be caught. Each harpoon carried a simple but devastating payload, a device that created a small gravity well. The Imperial ships, already struggling with the asteroid field, found their precise navigation systems thrown off by dozens of competing gravity points. Several ships collided with asteroids. Others were forced to retreat, their crews unable to compensate for the chaotic gravitational environment. "This is impossible." An Imperial commander's frustrated transmission echoed through space. "These primitives are using gravity itself as a weapon." Back on Earth, Commander Stone watched the tactical display with satisfaction. "Phase 2, he ordered. "Deploy the Ghost Fleet." Dr. Thompson's AI systems took control of hundreds of fake ship signatures, making them appear to dance through the asteroid belt. Imperial sensors couldn't tell which ships were real and which were just clever computer programs. The Empire's mighty fleet was being humiliated by what they saw as simple tricks and basic technology. Their sophisticated targeting systems were useless against ships that hid behind rocks and used gravity as a weapon. "Report from the front line," an officer announced. "Imperial fleet is retreating from the asteroid belt. They've lost 15 ships to collisions and gravity damage. No Earth ships destroyed." But the real victory came unexpectedly. A transmission, heavily encrypted, reached Earth's communication center. It came from a species called the Rigel, one of the Empire's supposed loyal subjects. "We have watched your resistance with great interest," the alien message said. "Perhaps it is time the Empire learned they are not as supreme as they believe. Others may soon follow your example." In the bunker, Commander Stone shared this news with the Council. "By defending our home, we've shown others it's possible to resist. The Empire's grip on their territories isn't as strong as they pretended." "And the asteroid belt?" President Rogers asked. "Now belongs to Earth," Stone replied. "They won't risk their big ships in there again. We've created a natural defense line all the way to Mars." Dr. Green added one final piece of good news. "The Empire's ships are starting to run low on antimatter fuel. They never expected such a long campaign. Every day they stay here costs them resources they can't easily replace." For the first time, the Council allowed themselves to believe that Earth might not just survive, but win this war. Humanity had taken its first steps into space combat, and they had done it their way, using simple solutions to solve complex problems. The Empire was learning a hard lesson. Never underestimate a species that had spent its entire history learning to survive against the odds. The Imperial High Commander faced the largest crisis in Empire history. On his main view screen, reports from across the galaxy showed growing chaos. What had started as a simple conquest of one primitive planet had turned into a nightmare. "Another system has declared independence," his advisor reported nervously. "The Rigel planets are openly supporting Earth now. 3 other species have destroyed our outposts in their systems." Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Stone received visitors from the Rigel delegation. The aliens were shorter than humans, but had similar gravity tolerance. They seemed amazed by Earth's simple atmosphere. "For years, we believed the Empire's technology made them unbeatable," the Rigel ambassador said. "But you proved that sometimes simpler is better. Our ships are already being modified to use your fusion drive designs." Dr. Green arrived with new information. "The Empire's fleet is falling apart. Their antimatter fuel supplies are critical. Half their ships can't even maintain their artificial gravity systems anymore." Stone turned to the large screen showing the solar system. The Imperial fleet had retreated beyond Mars, but they were now trapped. Behind them, rebel forces from other species blocked their escape routes. In front of them, Earth's forces controlled the asteroid belt. "Send the message," Stone ordered. Across space, Imperial ships received Earth's transmission. The message was simple: surrender now and receive safe passage home. Continue fighting and face complete defeat. The Imperial High Commander slammed his fist on his control panel. Never. The Empire does not surrender to primitives. But his own crew was losing faith. They had watched Earth's primitive technologies defeat their best weapons. They had seen how other species were copying Earth's ideas. Simple nuclear power instead of complex antimatter. Gravity-resistant ships instead of artificial gravity. Kinetic weapons instead of energy beams. "High Commander," an officer called out, "3 more ships have lost power. Their crews, they're requesting permission to accept Earth's offer." On Earth, President Rogers met with the Defense Council. Reports were coming in from across the galaxy. The Empire's structure was collapsing. Species that had been conquered centuries ago were rising up, using Earth's tactics. The Empire made a critical mistake, Dr. Thompson explained. They became so dependent on advanced technology that they forgot the basics. Now they can't adapt when their complex systems fail. A new message arrived from the Imperial fleet. Junior officers had taken control of several ships. They wanted to surrender. The High Commander's ship and a few loyal vessels opened fire on their own surrendering ships, but their weapons were weak from low power. "This is our chance," General Torres said. "We can end this now." Commander Stone gave the order. Earth's fleet, now joined by Rigel ships and other rebel forces, moved in. They didn't use fancy weapons or complex tactics. Simple railguns, powered by fusion reactors, tore through the weakened Imperial ships. The High Commander's last transmission was filled with disbelief. How? How can primitives defeat the greatest empire in the galaxy? Because, Tone replied, we never forgot where we came from. Every challenge made us stronger. Every limitation made us smarter. Your empire grew weak because you believed advanced technology solved everything. The battle ended quickly. Most Imperial ships surrendered. The few that resisted were disabled by precise railgun shots. The mighty empire that had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years had been defeated by a planet they had called primitive. In the bunker, celebrations were quiet and professional. Everyone knew that winning the war was just the beginning. Earth had shown the galaxy a new way, one that combined simple, reliable technology with innovation and adaptability. What happens now? President Rogers asked. Now, Commander Stone said, we help build something better than an empire. A coalition of free species, each contributing their strengths. Some will have advanced technology, others will have practical solutions. Together, we'll be stronger than the empire ever was. Dr. Green looked at the star map, now showing green lights where former imperial worlds had declared independence. And it all started because they thought Earth would be an easy target. The empire had failed to understand a basic truth. True strength doesn't come from having the most advanced technology. It comes from knowing how to use what you have, and never being afraid to fight back against impossible odds. Earth had not just defended itself. It had started a revolution that would change the galaxy forever. 1 year after the Empire's defeat, Earth looked very different. Ships from a dozen alien species filled the skies, their designs a mix of old Imperial technology and new Earth-inspired innovations. The United Nations building in Geneva had been rebuilt to include a new wing, the Galactic Coalition headquarters. Commander Stone stood at the window of his office, watching a Rigel ship land using one of Earth's fusion drives. Below, humans and aliens walked together, sharing ideas and learning from each other. The final report is ready, Dr. Green said, entering his office. The last Imperial Loyalist stronghold surrendered yesterday. The Empire is officially finished. Stone nodded. And the new coalition, growing stronger every day. 27 species have joined so far, each bringing their own strengths, just like you suggested. President Rogers called an assembly of all coalition members. Representatives from every free world gathered in Geneva. Some wore gravity suits to handle Earth's heavy gravity, but many had already started adapting their bodies using Earth's medical techniques. 1 year ago, Rogers began her speech. We were called primitives. Today, we stand as equals. Not because we defeated the Empire, but because we showed the galaxy a better way. The main screen showed images from across coalition space. Former Imperial worlds were thriving. Earth's simple but effective technologies had helped them break free from dependence on complex Imperial systems. Some worlds used Earth-style nuclear fusion. Others had developed new hybrid technologies, combining their advanced science with practical Earth solutions. The Empire's greatest mistake, Commander Stone addressed the assembly, wasn't attacking Earth. It was forgetting that true progress comes from working together, not ruling over others. Dr. Thompson presented the latest technological developments. Earth's AI systems were helping coordinate trade between worlds. Former Imperial ships now used a combination of antimatter and fusion power. The asteroid belt defense system had become a training ground for coalition ships. But our greatest achievement, Dr. Green added, isn't technological. It's understanding that every species has something valuable to teach. The Empire called Earth primitive, because we solved problems differently. Now the galaxy knows that being different is a strength, not a weakness. The Rigel ambassador stepped forward. Earth showed us that power doesn't come from having the most advanced technology. It comes from courage, creativity, and working together. That is why we propose making Earth the permanent headquarters of the Galactic Coalition. The vote was unanimous. Earth, once dismissed as a primitive backwater, would become the center of a new galactic civilization. Not through conquest like the Empire, but through cooperation and mutual respect. As the assembly ended, Commander Stone met with his team one last time in the bunker. The facility was being converted into a training center where species could share their knowledge and learn from each other. "Did you ever think," Dr. Green asked, "when we first saw those Imperial ships, that it would end like this?" Stone smiled. "No, I just wanted to protect Earth. But we did something better. We proved that being called primitive doesn't mean being weak. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best ones." President Rogers joined them, holding a new report. "The first coalition defense fleet is ready. Ships from 12 different species, each contributing their own ideas and technologies. And they all want Earth officers to help train their crews. Because we think differently," Stone said. "We don't just rely on advanced technology. We use our minds, our creativity, and our determination." As night fell over Earth, the sky glowed with the lights of friendly ships. The empire that had threatened to destroy them was gone, replaced by a coalition of free worlds. Earth's space program, once limited to their own solar system, now reached across the galaxy. In the end, the Empire's attempt to conquer Earth had led to their own destruction. They had never understood that true civilization isn't built on power or advanced technology. It's built on respect, cooperation, and the willingness to learn from others, even those you think are primitive. Earth had not just survived. It had shown the galaxy a new way forward, proving that the best future is one where every voice is heard, every contribution valued, and every world free to choose its own path. The age of empires was over. The age of cooperation had begun.